Listen, I want to talk about what your op-ed today, which I thought was so great in the Gazette, talking about the fact, and by the way, we should let people know, you're in the business of analyzing and being in public relations and whatever else. So you're involved in this political thing every day. Yet you chose to write about something I think is so cool, which is basically how sports, no matter what political side you're on, sports is something that brings us all together. What made you do this?
Because opening day was such a big deal, and I'm not even opening day in the Major League Baseball. I'm not particularly a big baseball fan, Aaron. I love the business of baseball, but not necessarily the game. But I did watch a couple of the games, and it was so slow paced. I was like, you know what? This is what we need. We need this type of relief. And then obviously with La Victoire de Montréal winning and the Habs at the cusp of making the playoffs, and it brings us together. And I think this is what we need right now. And, that's what the Olympics, for example, do every 4 years, but we don't have an Olympic right now. So hockey playoffs will have to do, and the beginning of the baseball season will have to do. But I think also it's a reminder, Aaron, of how we can come together. It's easy to forget because there's so much division, but these things bring us together. I feel the same way about festivals and concerts. When you go to a concert, what you have in common with the person next to you is what brought you there. And so, but I find that sports more and more is taking, is playing that role of togetherness, and I wanted to celebrate that.
I love that you wrote, it's even more interesting when I heard you say you're not necessarily a lover or a fan of baseball as the game, but as the business. But you have a line that you write, in some ways, baseball is a barometer for who we've become.
Mm-hmm. Because baseball is 9 innings, it's a slower game, it's a longer game, and they've changed some of the rules, Aaron, to make the game a little quicker.
That's right.
Over the weekend in the New York Times, the commissioner, Rob Manfred, said, ratings are up, ticket sales are up, so it's a sign that perhaps it's a change that needed to be done. It's still not as quick as hockey. It's still not as quick as the NFL. It's still slower, but still it has adjusted to who we've become because we're so used to getting everything right now when we want it. And so I think the game had to adjust to these new consumption habits that we have.
It's funny, though, again, to the point of not being a fan. Have you ever sat through a 9-inning baseball game?
I have not. Mm-hmm. This might cause me a silent treatment when I go back home, but I do find it so. But in the same token, I love tennis, and so I love a tennis match that's going to go 5 sets with a 10-8 in the so
very different.
It's different because the game of tennis itself is fast, but I love the long matches. But today, if we had the Expos back, I believe I would become a big fan of baseball.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, that would be nice, and I should write a column about that. I'm the biggest supporter of a return of the Expos in Montreal, and so I do think that these types of breaks, in my op-ed, I say that it's kind of like a palate cleanser at the end of the day. And what's great with baseball is that you have games every other day. And so at the end of your day, at the end of hearing all these news about election, et cetera, you come home and you watch this, and it's because it's about triumph and camaraderie. And then if your team loses, well, guess what? They're playing tomorrow. So there's another chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's the same thing with hockey. I mean, we'll root for the Habs even if we're not hockey fans, right? And so it's really, and it's because there's this lack, Aaron, of I find of common societal project, and it's true at the federal level, and it's true at the municipal level. Although I'll give candidates of the next election a chance to propose something that will bring us together. And I find right now with the federal election, I think because of this tariff war, which is our main concern collectively, and I get it, but it's not really dreamy, is it? It's not a societal project. So thank God for sports.
I will say to one thing about baseball, and I've been a fan for as long as I can remember, played the game as well. And I think the one thing is when you're a fan or at a live baseball game, the one difference in baseball is because it's so slow, every time there's 3 outs in a half inning, right, you have a chance to sit and talk to the person next to you about exactly what had happened. Not once, not twice, but 18 times in a game, right? In a 9-inning game, every half inning there are 3 outs. And I think that's one of the things that makes baseball different and one of the reasons why I like it so much.
Oh, no, I get that. And I can't wait to experience that. But I have to say, I do watch the playoffs when it's time. So I do love I do love the month of October for that. The excitement is so fun. And also it's to see the fans. I think baseball fans are unique. And I like the history of baseball as well. So I was happy to get an opportunity to tip my hat to the sport.
I think it's time, Martine, given your love and the fact that you'd be one of the first to buy tickets if the Expos come back, perhaps we need someone new to lead the charge to bring baseball back to this city.
I would do it. If a group comes together again, and I know it's happened before, I will join that group. We need baseball back in Montreal. I don't know why Toronto should have all the fun. And these sports are supported by fans. And I think if Green Bay can get a football team, Montreal certainly can get a baseball team.
So the only thing you need to do, because every time this has come up on the show, for example, right, I'll read text messages and hear from people who say, yeah, it's fine, but I don't want to pay for it. That's the answer, right?
And do you know, Aaron, why I mentioned the Green Bay Packers? Because fans are part owners
of the team. Yeah.
Yeah. So
maybe that's the way to do it here, right? Make everyone a part owner of the Expos.
That's the way to do it. The same way Walmart employees are part owner of the company. Let's make Montreal as part owner of the Expos.
By the way, since we're bringing this up, I might want to point out, you read, of course, what the plan is down for the Peel Basin now, for the Bridge Basin project that the city is going to carry out?
No, tell me, enlighten me.
Huge. Well, you don't, seriously, you don't know?
Seriously, I don't know.
So they're planning to finally take that area of the city, that rundown kind of area that's been sitting there, a lot of industrial buildings that are just falling apart, and turn it into a huge housing and retail complex. That's where the baseball stadium, if we ever got a team back, was supposed to go.
Yes, that right? I know. I remember. I saw the plans. I say that we mobilize and we come up with a better business model for the Expos and make Montrealers who choose to be part owners of the team.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you go to work on that. I'm in. Let me know what I have to do. For anybody else who's listening, who's a baseball fan, Martine St-Victor is now taking this upon herself
to
go ahead. That's what you said.
Yes, but Aaron, will you go with me down to Green Bay so we can talk to folks over there to see how they've done it?
Absolutely.
And we can see how we can adjust it to Montreal. Okay, so if Air Canada or Transat is listening, fly us to Green Bay.
Well, hold on. Wait a sec. No, I just did a segment today, though, about traveling to the U.S. and how I don't want to go to the U.S. right now because of Trump.
Well, you're not going for Trump. You're going to speak to the cheeseheads so they can tell us how to do it.
I know, but I'm worried that if they check my phone at the border and they see what I posted about Trump, they're not going to let me come into the U.S.
Well, listen, I'll leave you behind. I'll go do the work, but still, let's try to cross the border. Let's do it.
I'm part of the team. I'm in.
There you go.
Martine St-Victor. Martine, it's great to have you. Thank you so much.